For a long time, I used to constantly ask myself a question that I couldn't quite answer. I was a good person. I was kind. I was conscious. I was doing the work, journaling, meditations, affirmations. I genuinely cared about people. I wasn't out here hurting anyone. So, why wasn't I experiencing the relationship I wanted? Why did love keep slipping through my fingers no matter how hard I tried, no matter how much I gave, no matter how much I grew? And it wasn't just relationship, although that was the biggest piece. It was the feeling that my life wasn't reflecting who I actually knew I was on the inside. If you've ever asked yourself that question, I'm a good person, so why isn't my life showing up that way? This video is for you. Because today I'm going to answer this question, and this answer changed literally everything for me. If you're new here, hello, I am your Muse Traci. On this channel, I help you unlock the power you already have but can't access. I help you break through where years of trying has failed. And the biggest hurdle of all, I help you go from intellectually knowing the law to permanently embodying it. First, I want to say if you're in that place right now that I was just explaining, I understand how exhausting and confusing it is because you're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not doing it wrong, and you're definitely not doomed to just experience less than what you want. And you've probably tried everything. You've read the books, you've done the vision boards, you've said the affirmations, you've worked on yourself, and on the surface, you are different than you used to be. But something underneath still isn't shifting. The same patterns keep showing up, the same walls, the same glass ceiling on your desires and happiness. And the most painful part is you can't figure out why. Because you're trying. You're a good person. It should be working. And here's what I want you to understand in this video. It's not your goodness that's the problem. It's where your results actually come from that's still standing in the way of you actually receiving the things you desire most in your life. And those two are completely different things. Because you may have been taught growing up to be good and then you get what you want. This is a common parenting strategy, but your reality doesn't operate this way. Your reality isn't built on a be good and get rewarded system. It goes much deeper than you just being good. So let's talk about what your reality is built on then. What's actually creating? Here's the thing that most people don't talk about in manifestation. You have two operating systems running at the same time. You have your conscious mind, the one that reads the books, sets the intentions, knows better, chooses growth, wants the beautiful life. This is where your goodness lives. And this is the way that you show up and try. And then you have your subconscious mind. And this one isn't at all interested in who you want to be. It only knows what it was programmed to believe about you, about love, about money, about what's safe, about what you were taught you deserve, about how the world works. And here's the brutal truth. These two operating systems are not equally balanced. They're not even close to being equally balanced. Your subconscious mind is running and creating automatically about 95% of your life. your results, your relationship, your finances, the way people treat you, what you allow in, what you push away, they are not coming from your conscious choices, you might have noticed. They are coming from your programming. And most of the programming was set before you were 7 years old, before you even knew that you had a choice here. Think about that. The beliefs that are quietly running your adult life, 95% of it, were formed when you were a child, absorbing messages from your parents, your environment, your early experiences, ideas about yourself that you come up with, a lot of times as a defense mechanism because there's flaws in the environment. So you have to make sense of those flaws. And the safest thing to do when there's a flaw in the environment is you make it about you. It's not that safe to make it about the environment. No. We need to perceive the environment as being safe. So as a child, the best resource you have, the safest thing for you to do is make it about you. So these were messages like, you need to earn love, or there's never enough. And that could be love, money, both. Or it's not safe to be seen. Or people always leave. Or I have to take care of everyone else first. My needs don't matter. I could go on and on and on and on, but you get the point. You didn't choose those beliefs. You didn't even know, maybe, that you absorbed them into your blueprint, into your operating system. But whether you know it or not, they became the blueprint, the invisible architecture underneath everything you're trying to build with the 5%. The 95% still has that child created architecture that you never chose. And no amount of conscious effort can override a subconscious blueprint that says, you don't get to have it, or you don't deserve it. This is why you can be the most loving, generous, spiritually aware, and ascended person in the room and still be unconsciously creating the exact same painful patterns over and over. Your goodness is real. No arguments. And your blueprint is also real. And until they're aligned, one of them is going to keep winning. And it's not going to be your goodness. Because again, that's only 5%. The 95% is going to win every time. I know this firsthand because I lived it. I grew up in an environment where I learned very early that being fully myself, shining, taking up space, having needs, none of this was okay. I learned to stay small, to cater to everyone around me, to create my own sense of safety because nobody was really there to provide it for me emotionally. And I carried that blueprint into my adult life without knowing it. I was out here being a good person, showing up, giving, trying, and at the end of the day, completely confused about why I couldn't hold on to love that I so deeply, deeply desired. What I didn't understand at the time yet was that underneath all of my effort, I was still running a 6-year-old's belief system that said, your needs don't matter. You have to earn love. It's safer to give than receive. Don't be too much. Other people's needs are more important than your own. You need to self-abandon in order to be loved and accepted. And on and on and on and on and on. That blueprint wasn't attracting the love I consciously wanted. It was attracting exactly what it believed was true about me. When I finally stopped trying to be better and started going inward, really inward, into the places I'd been avoiding, everything then began to change. Not because I became a better person, no, but because I started to understand what was actually running the show. And that's the work. And it's the most important work you'll ever do. So, what does it look like to actually change the blueprint? Well, it starts with understanding what yours actually is. Not the surface stuff, but the real core beliefs about your worth, your safety, your lovability, all those core beliefs about yourself that have been running quietly underneath everything. And this requires taking an honest look at what keeps showing up in your reality, in your relationships, in your work environments, in your money. All the important areas of life, taking an honest look at what keeps showing up there, taking this honest look and not playing the victim, taking an honest look and being brave enough to admit that this must be coming from a core belief that you hold about yourself. And then asking yourself what you must believe in order to have this show up in your reality again and again and again. And if you're willing to take this hard look and you're willing to be honest and own the programming that is there, that you never chose consciously and was impressed upon you, right? You didn't choose it, but you do have to take responsibility and admit that it's there if you want to start the process of changing it. Most people never go here because it requires being willing to look at the parts of yourself that feel uncomfortable. The patterns, the childhood, the ways you learned to survive that are now keeping you stuck. But this is where your power to create your reality actually lives. It doesn't live in the affirmations, though they have their place. It's not in the vision board, though visualization also matters. It's in the deep subconscious rewiring that changes what you believe is actually possible for you. When you rewire the blueprint, when you shift the core belief from I have to earn love to I am worthy of love just as I am, your entire energetic signature changes. What you start aligning with changes. What you allow changes. What feels natural to you changes. That's not motivation. That's not willpower. That's real, true transformation. And that's the difference between manifestation that works and manifestation that keeps you spinning and keeps feeling like a struggle and keeps you stuck, basically. And that's not what I'm about on this channel. Nope. We've graduated to something more profound, more in depth, and more permanent. When you do this work, it's a permanent transformation. You do it once and it sticks. No more struggling around for years or decades. So if you've been asking yourself why being a good person doesn't seem like it's enough, now you have the answer. It's not about being better. It's about going deeper within yourself. The world is a mirror forever reflecting what you are doing within yourself, as Neville says. So if you're still operating from earning love, not being good enough, having to self-abandon, never fully realizing your true lovability and worthiness, well, guess what your world is going to faithfully mirror back to you. Again, this isn't a rewards-based mirror. This is a true, authentic, non-judgmental, what you say is true about yourself is reflected back type of mirror. Your conscious mind can want the beautiful life all at once. But until your subconscious believes it's available to you, truly at your core level, there will always be a gap between who you are and what you're creating. Closing that gap is the work, and it's the most life-changing thing you'll ever do. If this has been resonating with you, I want to hear from you. Drop in the comments, have you ever felt like this? Like, I'm a good person, why isn't this showing up? Like you were doing everything right, but something underneath wasn't shifting? Leave me a comment if that feels like it resonates with you. And if you're ready to actually do this work to understand your blueprint and rewrite it at the root, I work with people one-on-one to take them through exactly this process. There's a link in the description and in the pinned comment to book a free strategy call with me. Thank you all so much for watching this one. See you in the next one.